Now, obviously, the first thing, because we talked about it yesterday, I want to just go right into it today. Is paying for your school, paying for a college education can be a good investment in yourself. And then you say, well, compared to what? How is this going to be a good investment over the long term? Well, especially for degrees that are useful, right? So I think a lot, being a guy who got a business degree, went to business school, and now I'm getting a PhD in finance. That one of the things that is most useful to business majors, that is taught at every major university, every university that is an AACSB accredited business school. That's the big accreditation that they all have. Anyway, the number one thing that everybody needs to learn and that can be useful in all parts of business is accounting. It is the language of business. And so even if there are a bunch of classes you took that were not useful and did not help you in your particular field of study, then going through and actually making an investment in yourself to learn these types of things, to learn the things that are necessary to do the things that you want to do. Because if you want to go into business for yourself, having a general knowledge of accounting and being able to look at financial statements and understand them is a huge deal. If you want to go be an electrical engineer, there are skills that you cannot get unless you go to school to become an electrical engineer. If you want to become a welder, right? There are certain things you're not going to be able to learn unless you go to a trade school that is specifically teaching you how to weld. So these specific types of education that you can get, even though there may be a lot of things that you may learn that are not applicable to your day-to-day, work later on, they are investments in yourself, because you are going to learn things that are going to be extremely valuable. And once again, like I said, I'm talking about fields of study that are useful in the marketplace, fields of study that are going to create long-term value in the marketplace, not, things that are extremely theoretical, or things that do not have much application in the workforce, because that's the whole point of us going to get an education. The whole point of getting an education is to get a job that will pay us well and that we can support our family with, and that we enjoy what we are doing. And a lot of degrees that are offered at many universities are not in line with that thought process. They are not in line with, maximizing your utility outside of the university. They're not in line with maximizing your utility in the workplace. And so we have to be cognizant of that and make those good decisions on the front end. But when you are paying for your school, that is a good investment in yourself if you are going into some type of field where school is useful. I understand for some people a college education is not completely needed, but education is always needed. You are always needing to learn. You always need to be consistently, getting better at whatever you do. There's tons and tons of professions that require continuing education work, and the reason that is because they want you to continually be learning, continue to be knowledgeable about what's going on in the field, continue to push yourself in your attaining of new knowledge, and doing new things to keep up in your particular field. And so there's a reason for that. The reason for that is that education is extremely important. There are very few fields that just stay the same over 40 years or 50 years. Some things do, some things have, but very few things do anymore. Whether it be new technology, whether it be new systems, whether it be new procedures, whatever it may be, whether it be new regulations, anything that can get in the way and change the job, you have to be prepared to learn the new things. You have to be prepared to get the education that is necessary. I mean, I think about this extremely often. I think about 30 years ago, and 30 years in the grand scheme of things is not too terribly long ago. But 30 years ago, there was no Microsoft Excel that was, real pretty and user friendly and, easy to deal with. And, you could just, go on and easily make spreadsheets and, do these functions that are super helpful. And I think about that a lot because, I use Microsoft Excel. I have for a long time. And so when you are using it, it's like, okay, well, this is actually really easy and user friendly. But if there was nothing like this, then that person who was doing a job that would today require Microsoft Excel at some point had to learn it, or else they were pushed out of a job, or they left that profession, or they fell behind because they weren't doing things in the most efficient way possible. Anything that is going to make your life more efficient, make your life easier in the way of your profession, are things that you're going to have to learn. And making an investment in learning those things is extremely, extremely useful to you. And even though it may not pay direct dividends today, it will pay dividends in the long term.